Hello everyone, my name is Arjun Gill. Welcome to my new video today. Welcome to the channel if you're new here. And today I want to talk about decluttering. What to do when becoming who you desire or who you're meant to be. So recently I've been doing a lot of reflecting, and in it I've sort of realized in becoming this next person that I want to become. In order to move forward in life, I realized I need to let go of certain things in the past. I'm just going to fix my mic a little bit. Boom. All right, there we go. I would like to clear certain things of the past, let go of certain things in the past, and move forward. Now, what would usually happen is, certain times it would move forward. I'll do a significant change. Maybe it's clearing my closet, clearing this, clearing that. But sometimes I would rubber band. And a big thing I would do when it came to the rubber banding was I would shove everything under the carpet. I will make it look nice and presentable, but take shortcuts. As in, I will throw my clothes into the closet, but the rest of my room is clean. And then you open my closet, and oh my god, it's like there's so many clothes. It's like, what on earth are you gonna wear? And little did I realize that not only does my room represent who I am as a person, how I am mentally, but so does my closet. And I sort of kept my closet separate to my room, which was how I sort of saw myself. I only thought of myself as physically. What matters is how I look physically, how I look to the world, how much do I have physically, materialistically, rather than focus on the inside. That I pushed away. So whatever stuff I was dealing with was out of the picture, not of my concern. And I sort of got this realization that that was making things worse because eventually you're going to have to open the doors to your closet. And once you open the doors to the closet, you're going to see everything. You're going to be overwhelmed. And you're just going to shut everything up and go back to, making everything else look nice outside of it. And today, I was like, no, no more of that. A lot of this time, I was just doing that. Today, I was like, no more of that. And I ended up cleaning out a lot of my closet. We had like a huge pile of clothes, like huge, like I went in my closet, I took out everything. This is about the stuff that I'm keeping. This is about the stuff that I took out of my closet that are either going to donation or giving to my brother or my dad. And then this much is like what I'm putting away in storage that I don't wear at the moment, but I'll probably wear during a different season of the year or whatever. And it felt good. It felt good because I was finally letting go of a lot of things. When I was going through it, there were so many things I was catching. I'm like, oh my god, I remember when I got this. I found a wig from a costume that I was gonna dress up as the the Thor from Endgame in his like pajamas with the beard. I was gonna dress up as him, and this was back in 2021. And I found the wig in my closet, and I was like, holy shit! I'm like, I still have that thing, and when I opened it, it was like a trip down memory lane, but it was like also like, okay, time to close that book. Time to get rid of all this stuff that doesn't serve me. The, you know, pajama shirts that have holes in them and stuff, those ones that I've had for the last 5, 6 years, put them away. All sorts of stuff like that. And I, uh, I feel like, again, like it's very important in order to move forward is really making your space, your sacred space, which is your room, your closet, your washroom, really the best as you can. And since I've it's been something that I've been procrastinating a lot, cleaning my room. Well, it didn't really come to my mind to clean my room. It was more recent as I've been getting more back into myself, as in getting more back into my energy, aligned into my energy, where I realized that, okay, now that I'm getting more aligned into my energy, what do I need to do? And the biggest thing I've been doing is clearing old self doubts, old insecurities, things that I've been carrying for many, many years. And now I'm finally getting rid of all of that. And I think this was a big, big part in doing that. And I really want to tell people out there that if you are feeling really stuck, unable to move ahead, I will say, like, unclutter your room. Take stuff out like that you don't use anymore, things that you may have had for a very long time that you got in a certain phase of your life, because I believe in energy. So maybe someone gifted you something and you don't talk to that person anymore. And obviously it's a different story if it's something really expensive. I mean, I would still say find something around it. But if there's like anything which was like not really, that was given to you at not your best time, your best moment, I would say give that away, get rid of it. Goes for clothes, anything like that. If you have a bunch of old clothes, just put them away. Because I knew I really needed to clean my closet, because what would happen is I would wear my clothes, throw them in the laundry hamper, throw them in the washer, dryer, air dry them, then put them all in the laundry basket, fold them, and instead of putting them in my closet, I'll just take the clothes out of my laundry basket, whatever clothes I had. So I kind of knew that, okay, yeah, I'm only gonna, and like it was obviously my nicer clothes and stuff, the clothes I was wearing all the time, that was only in that. While in my closet was just like a mess of all sorts of things, shirts that were older, like from years ago, and shirts that I was getting, like, I don't know, like that I got like last year or something, that is hidden under a bunch of other stuff. And I think another great way to see it as was, I recently went shopping, and I go shopping about once a year, two times a year, to get clothes. And when I went shopping, I got all these clothes. I didn't end up putting any of them in my closet. They sat in the bags for almost a month, month and a half, because my closet was full to the brim. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna clean up that stuff. I'm gonna clean up that stuff. But because I never got to it, I never had time to really put those clothes away to wear. I didn't even wear them because I started forgetting about them. And I think you really need to see, I really, well, not you, but I really need to see that, because I saw how that really mirrored my life, how I was so focused on going ahead that I wasn't paying attention on what I needed to let go. And it that's the thing about growing and like going on this journey, is you have to let go of the things. We try to bring as much stuff as we can. Like when we want to become the version of ourselves, we're like, oh, I can't wait to get there and stuff. The universe is like, sure, that's awesome. You're going to get to where you need to be. That's great. You're going to do what you need to do. And then you're like, yeah, and then I can bring all these people, all my friends. I can bring all my other friends. I'll reconnect with my family. My ex is going to come back. Everyone's going to be jealous. And then the universe is going to be like, whoa, 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 whoa. It's like it was never about that. It was about what you needed to do, about you. And then you'd be like, wait, 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 you're saying I can't have all that? They're like, well, no. It's just like some of it may not work out. Like, don't expect going ahead and expecting all of that being able to come with. And that's pretty crazy to think about. It's scary also, because it's like, you don't know what that could be. But I would say about every story I've heard of people focusing on themselves and really moving ahead is that they don't regret it. And it's not selfish to think about yourself. That's another thing. I feel like people get very confused. Selfishness putting is I wouldn't say putting yourself before others, but it's more of putting others in the way so you can go on your own path. You can I think that kind of makes sense. Like, I mean, most of when we say selfish, we know what we think about. A certain person may come to mind, whatever. They only think about themselves, as in selfishness is only thinking about yourselves without any regard to other people. While focusing on yourself is you're focusing on yourself, what for the betterment of yourself, and you're doing that only for the betterment of yourself without hurting anyone around you. And that is very, very important. Now, again, this gets deeper because it's like, well, Arjun, what if someone wants to grow and they need to maybe it's their parents. Sometimes parents emotionally blackmail their kids. They're like, hey, you can't do this without me and stuff, right? Hey, what am I gonna do if you move on, if you move out, if you do this, if you do that? You know, oh my God, I need you for the rest of my life and stuff, right? And obviously, you're their kid. If you have a loving relationship, you'll be like, yes, I'll be there for you all the time. And yeah, but what if it's not, that isn't the case? And what if you sort of realize, like, oh my God, this is actually hindering my chances of moving ahead? Um, and, thankfully, I haven't really been in that position, but I've heard stories of how it's affected so many people. I mean, biggest example is like you choose a career that you don't want to do, but it pleases your parents. I think that's the biggest example. I think most people have done that. I think a lot of you know people who've done it. I know a lot of people who've done it, and I see how upset they are, how miserable they are, how betrayed they feel, and how much it hurts them, right? And obviously parents always say, I want what's best for my kid. I want what's best for my kid. But that also ends up that kid may have a lot of money and everything, but that may end up building a lot of resentment. Now, I don't want to go too off topic. I mean, again, I'm not a therapist, psychologist, nothing like that. I'm just talking from my experiences, from what I've heard, from what I've learned, from personal experiences, from other people's experiences. And I think like in those cases when you see how it's affecting your movement in life, you aren't yourself because of what your parents are maybe like holding you back, or whoever it is, parents, a spouse, relatives, friends. For me, it was friends. A lot of friends in my life would um, tell me, hey, I don't think you're good enough for that, so you shouldn't do that. But then when I would do it, you know I noticed I was good at it. I enjoyed it. And they would still be like, no, yeah, but you won't be too successful with it. And I'm like, I enjoy it, man. I'm like, isn't that enough? I'm like, so what if, I'm doing this thing and it doesn't get successful? I'm enjoying it. It's not hurting anybody. It's not hurting me. And I'm having fun. A lot of people, are always like, oh, you don't want to get your hopes up too high and stuff, right? I'm going to move my lamp a little bit because I just noticed it's like a little bit to the edge. Let's just get it there. Hold on. There you go. Let me just. Boom. Sorry about that. A lot of people are always like, "Oh, that's just a dream. Don't, get to reality. What are you talking about? Don't don't dream too much because you're gonna just get disappointed." I'm like, no. I'm like, it's not about dreaming too much. It's about just doing what you want, man. Doing what you love and not worrying about what happens, right? And in order to get into that space, you really need to clean up what is going on in your life. So, clean out your closet, clean up your room, make your bed, do all of that, okay? Disconnect from your friends, leave that group chat, do whatever you need to do. Tell that person to fuck off if you need to. Do whatever you need to do in order to let them go and move on, okay? And hey, it also takes time to move on. Let me say that. I disconnected from a friend one time, and it took me a few weeks to move on. Reason it took me a few weeks was because they were a good friend. I grew up a lot with them. They were a big part of my life. But little did I know they were a big part of my life, and not the best reasons. As in, I became more disconnected from myself because I was close to them, because I listened to everything they said, because I took their words over my own, over my parents' words and stuff. And that was not good for me. That was not good for me. And you will know who it is in your life that you sort of need to disconnect from, cut cords with to move forward. And I believe that also starts first with cleaning your closet. So that's about it for today's video. Really, my shortest video yet. Yay! My shortest video yet. And I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like, share your insights, share what you think in the comments, and subscribe for more. I'm really enjoying this. I'm getting into the groove of it. And, I actually look forward to this part of the day because, I mean, it's just fun. I love talking about this stuff. And yeah, I can't wait for where this leads and stuff. I can't wait to, see more of you guys join the channel and join the community, and we can just, talk about stuff like this, share with each other, and yeah, let's see where it goes. And I can't wait for you guys to join me on this journey. Have a great night. Thank you.